Welcome to Selections from Manichaean Writings, Parables, Part 1 of 2 on Words of Wisdom. Prophet Manichaean, also known as the Messenger of Light, was a Persian mystic saint who sought to liberate humanity through a deeper understanding and connection with God. His Gnostic teachings became the basis for the Manichaean religion, founded in the 3rd century AD. Manichaeanism was based on the belief of the divine within and the duality of good and evil. Prophet Mani saw a human struggle between the spiritual light and a material world of darkness. His teachings, which focused on the unity of all religions, drew from Zoroastrianism, Buddhism, and Christianity. During its peak, Manichaeanism spread from Spain to India and was perhaps the first religion to flourish worldwide at that time. Prophet Mani was revered for his humbleness, compassion, and the spiritual salvation that he said could be attained by reconnecting with one's true self. During a lecture in 2007, Supreme Master Qinghai Vegan confirmed Prophet Mani's place in history as a true messenger of light.
It's about Mani, prophet.
Mani?
Mani, yeah, Manichaean, the prophet in Iran.
Yeah.
And I discovered that all his disciples were vegetarian. Mm-hmm. And they also were very attentive to animals, like they kept something in when they walked. You know, they walked a lot in their mouths not to eat insects and all this.
Uh-huh. They wear the mask?
Yeah, they wear a mask. And also Mani was using the teachings of the Buddha when he was in China, mm-hmm. and also the teaching of Jesus when he was more in Europe. So I wanted to know if he was actually really a master and initiating people.
He was a great master.
Thank you, Master.
Yeah, a good master, a real master, yes. Like 5th level, yeah?
Okay, thank you.
I'm sure he was very greatly enlightened. Mm-hmm. You know, you can tell by the way he taught, you know? Yeah?
Yes, he was very universal for that time.
Then it's good. And loving animal people and all that, and it's correct.
Parables about the auditors, a Manichaean text in Persian. And like the highway robber who killed those sons, so you all who stretch out your hands against the earth and harm it in every manner, and with your whole body you trample and injure the earth, and you martyr and ill-treat this living soul from which you were born, and it cries out and laments constantly because of your hands that mistreated. You auditors who stand there laden with so much sin and guilt, you need absolution and grace once and for all for your many sins. Therefore ask the elect day after day for conventions and absolution, so that they may bring grace upon you. They, the perfect auditors, are like a man who is healthy in his whole body and free from pain, and who has no pain or illness of any kind. Yet he scratches himself a little at some limb, and he stands up restlessly and turns to it, that limb again and again, and wonders when this sore will be healed, so that his whole body will be well and free from pain. And again, they are comparable to a rich man who is not used to borrowing anything from anyone, and the necessity for something arises, and he borrows a drachma from someone else. Thereafter he constantly thinks, when will I pay back the drachma to my creditor? Parable of the Gem Borer, a Manichaean text in Sogdian. A merchant had many precious gems. In order to have them bored, the merchant hired a man for 100 pieces of gold per day, and the hired man went with him to the merchant's domicile. When the hired man sat down, a lute happened to be there, and the worker looked at it. When the merchant asked him if he knew how to play the lute, the hired man answered, "Yes, very well," for he was skilled in this art. The merchant said, "Then take it." The hired man thus took it and played beautiful melodies in a correct manner for the merchant the whole day long, leaving the box with gems open, and beating the time with his hand and swaying his head to it with great joy. In the evening the worker said to the merchant, "Have my wages given to me." When the other said, "Have you done anything to earn wages?" the hired man answered, "You hired me, and I did what you told me to do." Thus he urged the merchant until he received the 100 pieces of gold without any deduction, while the gems remained unbored. There was a quarrel, but it could not be settled. So on the next day they went before a judge for a trial. The hired man spoke thus, "My lord, when this gentleman saw me beside the bazaar, he asked me, 'Hey, what work can you do?' I replied, 'Sir, whatever work you may order me to do, I can do it all.' When the merchant had taken me to his house, he ordered me to play the lute. Until nightfall I played on the lute at the owner's bidding." The judge pronounced this verdict, "You hired this man to do work for you, so why did you not order him to bore the gems? Why did you bid him play on the lute instead? The man's wages will have to be paid in full. If again there should be any gems to be bored, give him another 100 gold pieces, and he shall then bore your gems another day." Thus, under constraint, the owner of the gems paid the 100 gold pieces. His gems remained unbored, left for another day, and he himself was filled with shame and contrition. The wise give this allegorical explanation. That man who understood all arts and crafts represents the body. The gem borer is the body. The 100 pieces of gold represent a life of 100 years. The owner of the gems is the soul, and the boring of the gems represents piety. That one is a righteous elect who saves many people from hell and sets them on the way to paradise. And now I command you, hearers, that so long there is strength in your bodies, you should strive for the salvation of your souls. Keep my instructions and my words in mind, the straight path and the true mold, which I have shown to you, namely, the sacred religion. Strive through that mold so that you will join me in eternal life." Thereupon all the hearers became very joyful and happy, on account of the divine words and priceless instructions which they had heard from the apostle, the Lord Marmani.
For more information, please visit the Gnostic Society Library, gnosis.org.
It is calculated that if no animal foods were consumed, 1/4 of the land now used would suffice for human sustenance, and the extensive tracts of the country now appropriated to grazing, mowing, and other modes of animal provision could be cultivated by and for intelligent and affectionate human neighbors. Bronson Alcott, vegan.
Gentle viewers, it has been a joy to have you with us today.